Let me listen to that back. It's Mike and Mo and we just reading, baby. Ain't no interpretations, we just keep it even, baby. Yeah, give us a listen if you feeling lazy, or if you ain't been in the mood for communing lately. Yeah, we gon' keep it 100 as we going through these words. Our creator wouldn't want us to treat him like a curve, brushed off like a street sweeper. Kaden Park in Miami, without him we get heat fever. Goal is precision. We need a ski teacher, connection more reliable than 96 or 3 beepers coming to you live. Call us a heat seeker, Jeepers Creepers couldn't be more curious than these peepers. We only reading a book, come take a listen to us. We only reading a book, creator gave it to us. We only reading a book, no we don't come in bitter. If you ever want to see us live, we know where to look. We only reading a book, come take a listen to us. We only reading a book, creator gave it to us. We only reading a book, no we don't come in bitter. If you ever want to see us live, we know where to look. This is good stuff, bro.
Okay.
ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم.
Allah has set a seal upon their hearts and upon their hearing, and over their vision is a veil, and for them is a great punishment.
So he said that you shouldn't reach out to the disbelievers because they always gonna disbelieve, and Allah has sealed their eyes and their ears, and no, he sealed their eyes, their ears and something else, and put a veil over their eyes so that they can't understand.
So they can't understand whatsoever. So I think that Allah is planting those people intentionally. I think these are people directly created to test us, and that these are the people that we shouldn't try to be saving, because these are the people that are going to try to be testing their faith. This is what I hear. Or what do you hear?
Yeah, I'm hearing that too, but I'm wondering why though. Why do you intentionally put people in my way? Instead of just like warning me that there will be people out there like that, you're telling me that you're controlling these people to be that way, and that just makes me wonder why.
This sucks for me because I love humans.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I want to show you what the truth is, but then
you're not going to tell me that you're one of those people that won't be convinced.
Yeah, it's
it sucks for me, man.
I'm going to be looking at you like maybe Allah put you out here so I don't talk to you.
Oh, man.
So which way would I go? That's
fascinating.
That's mad. Let me write that down.
I really hope I'm not misinterpreting that. This is what I hear, right? This is what me and Mike hear. I really hope that people at home watching this hear something good. So what we established so far is that I think what he's talking about right now is those disbelievers that are not supposed to be changed. And now what we see right here is, and like I said, there's a bunch of people who are hadith. There are people that course correct this. So we don't know. We're only judging it based off what we hear right now.
Yeah.
If there are hadiths that counteract this or explain this more, please tell us about them.
For sure. Send them up.
Yeah, please tell us about them, and we'll read them on our own time, see if they're worth covering. So, and I really don't want to make Mike's show an Islamic show, man. You know what I mean? I really hope that the people who send in are aware of that, and we're not just here to cover Muslim content.
I'm in search for the truth, okay? So if the Islamic paradigm ends up being the truth, then my show gonna be an Islamic show. That's just what it is.
Of course, but I want to make sure that he knows that he's doing that out of free fruition. I'm not influencing that part.
Yeah, for sure.
ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين.
And of the people are some who say, we believe in Allah and the last day, but they are not believers.
My dad talks a lot about these people. These are fake. I think it's what he's talking about, like fake believers. But the problem is, I think Allah is directly putting them there. So we can't judge them for not being Muslim, because I think Allah created them that way. Why are we judging them for not being Muslim when their main purpose in life is to stop us from being Muslim?
I think that just ruled out one of our assumptions.
Do we have assumptions?
Yeah, we said that it could be like really extreme people, like atheists. But it says that it is the people that say that there is one God and something else, and they believe in the last day.
This is what I was talking about with him before. All you have to do is to become a Muslim, just say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, and you're a Muslim. I think this is what they're referring to, those people that say that but don't really mean it. And not necessarily, okay, that sounds very biased. I think he's talking about the people who say that, right? But don't necessarily believe that. They don't necessarily believe it themselves.
You know what's funny about this? There are two belief systems that says that there's one God and there is a last day. So it kind of seems like maybe he's being specific.
Might be. What do you think? Specific to a certain person? Or a
certain group of religious people or a certain belief system of people. The Jews and the Christians.
Of course.
Because what other belief systems are there? There's Sikhism.
There's Buddhism. Well, there's a lot of religion. Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism.
No, none of those other belief systems believe in one God or a last day of the earth. They believe in reincarnation and cycles and things like that.
I actually do believe in reincarnation at some point.
It's only the other two belief systems.
Do you not believe in past lives?
do not.
Yeah, so I discovered this separately. I thought that like a lot of trauma that you have no idea where it came from could be coming from a past life, because there was no real way to explain what I was feeling at the time. I resented my dad for a while because I couldn't connect with him. And I'm like, did my past self resent my dad? Even though I love him now, I love him. He's a great dad, but I had no reason to hate him.
Emotions and curses can be passed down too.
They could be that too.
Psychologically and through what is it, hormones?
Hormones too. Okay, so that might be.
So that can be a thing. I'm not going.
And by the way, this is what my past self believes. I'm not 100% sure that past life still exists now. I just thought it was a possibility.
I'm not going to say that it's not a thing, but it's not what I believe.
Of course.
And the Bible say that it is appointed once for man to die, so reincarnation you will die multiple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's already confusing more. Chapter, and I see why there are so many people who interpret it. I'm definitely still going to stay with my marja, just for safety, because I don't want to completely leave what you got to understand. Me reading this, me completely leaving my religion, knowing that hey, this is exactly what it's going to be very irresponsible, because it's like, imagine reading at the library when there's the internet, because the internet is considered like those margins and people who study this their entire life. It would be very weird for me to just let go of that very easily without me confirming that, okay, there might be something here that they're missing.
So
you know what I mean?
How attached are you to your ideals?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm very attached. I'm trying to be neutral right now, and it probably doesn't sound like I'm being neutral. So I'm definitely probably portraying bias.
Because we were talking about being attached to ideas earlier, which is why.
Oh really? Oh okay.
Me and you were at the restaurant.
Yeah, no, I do remember some of the conversation.
So I get that because you was brought up in it, and basically all your whole life you've been a revert, and then there is a type of fear instilled in the belief system. Definitely. Because of hell. Hell is scary. Yeah. You don't want to be in eternal torment. So I definitely understand the hesitation and the wanting for this to be completely false before you step. Do you think Allah is fair?
I'd say yes, from what I was taught.
That was a leading question. Do you think it's fair for him to purposefully set up traps for us?
I'd say yeah, but the thing is, traps are very nuanced. Like, what are you trying to tell me here?
Just what we read. The disbelievers, they are disbelievers because Allah sealed their senses.
So that they don't hear it.
Yeah, they're not only disbelievers because they're disbelievers because Allah made them disbelievers. And I mean,
this is what we interpret it as, right?
Maybe I sound like a child, but that kind of sounds unfair to me. I could see if they were disbelievers just because they were disbelievers. I get that it's going to be people that don't believe, but then it's you that's making them disbelievers. I'm supposed to be able to tell between whether they're a disbeliever that might want to come to the faith or whether they're a disbeliever that you're making a disbeliever, and I'm not supposed to even try to bring them to the faith. Maybe I sound like a child, but that just seems unfair.
It does sound unfair to you? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm trying. Because I have to give definitive opinions, so I don't sound like I'm trying to hide anything. I would say that I hope there's a good reason. I really hope that he did this. That's what I'm saying. I'm very hopeful in this video. I'm hoping that is explained, and if it's not explained, if I end up being straight off, it's genuinely what I believe in, and I really hope that the system isn't designed for me to actually be able to be conscious while still being able to be faithful to God and not be considered a devil worshiper. I really hope so, obviously, because I'm sure I'm someone who doesn't want to go to hell, like most people.
I get it, but you're also a logical person, so it's like if I'm looking at these things and thinking through these things, they kind of don't make sense, and I don't.
Not yet. I'm saying right now there are things that I want more clarity on.
Things that are nuanced. I'm gonna say that right. Things that are nuanced, and it's difficult to come to terms with them or just say like I believe in this because God said it. Like I kind of wanted to make a little bit.
Because that is what I've been taught. God said this. You believe it. This is what I've been taught as a Muslim.
I feel it, and I get that from a blind faith perspective. But me from a logical perspective, I kind of wanted to make a little bit of sense, at least a little bit of sense, like so I can understand it.
يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون.
They think to deceive Allah and those who believe, but they deceive not except themselves and perceive it not.
They think to deceive
Allah and those who believe.
It seems like they're saying the disbelievers are thinking about or making plans to deceive Allah and the people that believe in Allah.
But they deceive not to accept themselves and receive it not. So there's still, what it sounds like to me is that there's still hope to save those people.
It sounds like there
Does
is.
it?
I think it's interesting that
You hear that too, or am I being biased somehow? Do you hear that too?
I do think that it's still hope for these people because it says they think to deceive Allah. So I think it's interesting that people think that they can deceive God, Allah in general, but then it's also admitting that they believe in Allah.
So there's a nuance.
Yeah, there's already one step. You believe in Allah, you just don't necessarily follow him or do what he says. You're trying to deceive him.
So I really think I think this is going to be explained later. So they know Allah exists, but they're purposely deceiving him. Whereas an atheist, right? They might have been exposed to Allah, but they don't understand that concept. So then they naturally rebel. And then there are people who have never heard of Islam at all. And we've actually seen those people, right? They've heard of Islam, but they're just like they heard it. They're not necessarily aware that Allah's in Islam. There are things, you know what I mean? There are people that have never actually heard of Islam in their life, and they're supposed to be. And that means, from what I hear right now, is they have to be aware that God exists in order to rebel against him. This is what I'm hearing. Are you hearing this?
Yeah. They are deceiving themselves, trying to deceive Allah and the people who believe in Allah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they do not perceive the truth.
Of course. So we're making a very general statement here, trying to be biased. They have to. So what it sounds like is that they still have to be aware Allah exists in order to rebel against him.
For sure, they have to be.
And then, so from what I hear, that if you don't believe Allah exists, then you're not actively rebelling. Is this what you hear too, or no?
If you don't believe Allah exists, you're not actively rebelling.
Like if you've never heard of him before, you never knew he existed.
I think you could probably eisegete that for sure, but I don't think it's saying that literally. I could get that down the line though. I see, how you come into that conclusion, but it's not saying that outright.
Okay, so I'm not gonna make a statement there that's not there. But I think you definitely interpreted that. I'm still confused on what that means. If you give a definitive statement, I'm just gonna agree with him. Because it sounds to me that that's probably a possibility.
في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون.
In their hearts is disease, so Allah has increased their disease, and for them is a painful punishment because they habitually used to lie.
Is it saying that there's hope for those people then? Do you hear that or no?
It says Allah put disease in their heart. Wait, hold on. Increased it. I'm sorry. My bad. Mm-hmm. It's a disease already in their heart, and I guess that's
so were they born with
disbelief.
So because what are we? Is it very unfair to say that he put those people in there intentionally?
Right.
It's unfair to say that because now he's saying that there might be hope for those people. Is it unfair?
Is it were they born that way, or did eventually Allah start covering their senses and they just stopped believing? I guess that's what you asked when we was reading it too. We had went over that because it doesn't necessarily say. So it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
But it says in their hearts is disease. So
they already believe. So from what I'm hearing, what I'm hearing is they were already saying that they were going to be disbelievers anyway, and because they disbelieved, their disbelief just kept increasing. It doesn't diminish because they were already disbelievers, and then they're going to try to. Does it say that they're going to affect other people, or is that also doesn't say that?
No, it say they being punished after that,
and then they're going to be punished
for
that.
It's a painful punishment because they habitually.
Okay, so my question is, do you think that there might be hope for those people then, or do you think it's still saying that it's just the fate that they have to suffer? It sounds like we should just let those guys go still.
But see, looking at this again, it kind of gets tough because it says in their hearts is disease. So Allah has increased their disease. How much of the disease needs to be in the heart before Allah starts increasing it? Like you was asking before, because you kind of fell away from the faith and reverted and you're trying to get stronger, do you fall into that category where Allah is increasing that disease in your heart?
Funny, because there is, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. My grandpa's living with me right now, and whenever he starts saying the adhan or something necessarily religious comes up, I automatically start to look at it in disgust. Not necessarily, that sounds very fucking bad. Astaghfirullah, by the way. Astaghfirullah, but yeah, I start to resent it a little. I start to be annoyed by it. So am I purposefully putting the path to be like that? Are they purposefully doing this to make me like that, or is this just a coincidence?
I mean, I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I don't want to make you feel no type of way, but I just kind of.
I want you to be listen. I want you to be completely honest with me.
I just felt some type of way.
I don't want. Should I curse? Because I don't.
It's okay.
Yeah, fuck my feelings, bro. Say what you mean.
I just felt some type of way for you. That don't kind of scare you, bro. You can feel a way. Maybe Allah has destined you for this.
Dang, man.
That makes me feel sad, bro. I hate that, bro. Let's write this down. What do we have to do?
The thing is, I don't want to get Marja's interpretations because I don't know how because they do say that Marjas do a lot of research and they do make sure that they make a conscious decision to make sure that what they're saying is correct. And I understand that, but then again, they also have bias. So it's hard for me to do. I'm trying my very best, guys, to not twist the word of God whatsoever. I'm trying to be completely neutral, and that's hard for me right now because of how I was raised. I'm trying so hard to make sure that the people here.
Get off of Mo. Get off him.
I'm trying so hard to not make people who already are in that category worse, or the people who already believe in Islam strengthen. I don't want that. I don't want to be that person. I just want to be the guy who's honest about what I'm hearing.
Yeah, for sure.
And what I'm hearing is, if this isn't clarified, shit, I might actually have to go, unfortunately. And
we haven't even gotten far yet.
Of course. For right now, that's what it sounds like, and I really hope that something down the line explains that to me. This is very heavy, and this is the second chapter.
It's just really interesting just getting to hear, because I've never had a Muslim friend, like I said before, so it's really interesting hearing things from your perspective, and then going through the Quran too and trying to understand the nuances. Even though we in the beginning, it kind of seems like there's a lot of days, a lot of thems, a lot of we do this, but not necessarily.
Are we being negative? Are we interpreting it very negatively? I mean it sounds like we are, man.
I'm not. I am trying to interpret certain spots where it seems
that's not your intention, by the way. Yeah,
but
it's not intentional.
I'm literally just trying to read it as it is and see what it's saying. Like,
directly.
Directly.
And directly, it seems very negative right now. So I'm hoping there is it's very negative. But like I said, we're very open, very open to what it's actually saying.
And that's why I'm doing interpretations, because I'm trying to be open. So as much as I can try to make it not seem like it's being negative, I'm gonna interpret it that way. But like reading it literally, it kind of seems like reading it literally, it kind of seems like Allah is all of these things. He wrote. He revealed things to Muhammad, revealed things before, and he's going to reveal things after him. And there are people who disbelieve in what he revealed because he's making them disbelieve and increasing their disbelief.
But I don't know why I'm being so cautious, because it's like they said, non-believers are not going to believe at all. And let's say one of those people came across the video. This is pointless to do for those people. So
that's what it seems like.
But obviously, I feel like it's a disservice to me as a human being to have my words interpreted. Not necessarily that. Okay. My words interpreted as, hey, I'm trying to spread a message, when all I'm trying to do is understand. That's all. So I want to make sure that that's at the forefront.
I also think it's a disservice, personally, as a human, because if this is the truth and this is the way to get to heaven, then you will want disbelievers, or you will want to tell disbelievers at the very least. But I'm
not going to lie to you. I might get unhinged and not catch myself, and I'm unconsciously being biased. I'm trying really hard to concentrate right now. Like that's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, I get it, and I'm trying to ask questions without being biased. But I do feel like even if I wasn't at the point that I am, knowing that I'm knowing what I know, crazy, I would still be asking these questions, because it's saying some interesting stuff that I need to connect to each other or connect somewhere.
وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ.
And when it is said to them, do not cause corruption on the earth, they say, we are but reformers.
أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ الْمُفْسِدُونَ وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ.
Unquestionably, it is they who are the corrupters, but they perceive it not.
This is so confusing, right? Like I said before, they think that they're not being corrupt, which is the nuance, right? My dad would make very definitive statements saying this is wrong, period, when there's stuff like this. They're not intentionally trying to cause harm.
And when it is said to them, do not cause corruption on the earth, they say we are but reformers. So we are but changers to make it better.
Not necessarily make it better, that's fine, but we are changers. We change things.
Yeah, in order to improve. That's their mindset.
I really don't want to go home and talk to my dad about this, because I think no matter how unbiased he's going to be, he's going to still try to instill in me that, hey, you should believe this whether you like it or not.
وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ آمِنُوا كَمَا آمَنَ النَّاسُ قَالُوا أَنُؤْمِنُ كَمَا آمَنَ السُّفَهَاءُ أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ أنهم هم السفهاء ولكن لا يعلمون.
And when it is said to them, "Believe as the people have believed," they say, "Should we believe as the foolish have believed?"
We're circling back around. He thinks that it's foolish to believe in Islam. So should the blind believe? Should I walk into a pit because a blind person walked into a pit? Kind of metaphor. Do you hear that too?
Yeah. I mean, he's saying, should we believe as the foolish? But then Allah is calling them foolish. But then why are the unbelievers calling Muslims foolish? Why did they say that? Should we believe as the foolish?
Because it's very nuanced. We can't say definitively that there's a reason why they think it's foolish, because it's not been explained yet. All we know is that, so God thinks these people are foolish when I hear it because he's calling them foolish. Mm-hmm. But then in response, as rebellion, they're saying, but why should we believe God's word if that is foolish to us? Are they doing this? Now the question comes up, are they subconsciously doing this or unconsciously? Because if they're consciously doing it, then they're consciously aware that God is calling them foolish. Or am I getting that wrong?
I think consciousness is definitely a big part of it. They know exactly what's going on. You can tell by the way that they're responding.
This is great. By the way, this is great because how it's interpreted when I grew up is that this is good or bad. That's it. There's no nuance like this. It never teaches fundamental something. They always try to make a definitive answer without any interpretation. And if they do interpret it, they interpret it in a way that sounds good. So this is more exciting than a TV show because it's making me actually not necessarily question what I believe, but make me kind of think like, okay, so is everything that they said bad, or is there some good things that have been taught? Kind of thing. Go on.
Right? Is there some good things?
Like, are they doing this out of the pureness of their heart, or are they purposefully trying to be evil?
Yeah.
Did God put them in the path to be evil?
They know what's going on. They believe in one God. They believe in the last day. They calling Muslims foolish. Like they understand that there is.
This is Mike, by the way. This is how people. I'm making sure that they don't think it's biased, because I think you're actually not trying to be biased.
Yeah, they understand that there's a spiritual world, so it seems like he's talking to people that know what's going on. They just not necessarily on his side. That's what it seems like. So it's definitely a conscious decision for sure. He's talking to conscious people. God's
directly calling them foolish.
Yeah.
That's for certain. All right, we're reading directly from the text. God's calling these people foolish. But then it is they who are the foolish. Definitively, they are foolish. And there's no nuance to this. He is directly calling them foolish.
And Muslims say, believe like we believe. And they say, whoever this group of people is, should we believe as the foolish have believed, calling the Muslims foolish. And Allah says that group of people is actually foolish.
But they know it's not. So they don't know that they're foolish?
Yeah.
Is that what it's supposed to say?
I think
so they don't think that they're necessarily, because what they told me is that, hey, these people who are trying to not convince you not to be Islamic are directly evil. But they don't believe. How can someone be evil if they're not consciously aware that they're being evil? They'd have to make that conscious decision. He's talking to conscious people. This is fascinating.
Which gives more of like a yearning for me to want to show these people love and lead them to the truth, instead of just being like, oh, they're a disbeliever, they always gonna be a disbeliever, let me let that go. I don't know why, I really can't let that verse go, Mo. Like that really makes me feel the way. Like why
I just gotta abandon these people?
Yeah,
but they're not. Like the thing is, the problem is, so they were born. So from what it sounds like, okay, it sounds like God has directly made these people blind on purpose.
At some point in time.
Trick you.
Whether it's in birth or later on in life.
To purposefully trick you, because I do believe that, and I do believe in that concept, because I'm sure you're aware of bots, people who have absolutely no conscience and only follow social programming. The people who are so dependent on, and I'm sure you guys see the Matrix, they are so dependent on the system, they will fight to protect it. I love that line. They are so, and I think he even said hopelessly dependent on the system. There are people that have absolutely no consciousness whatsoever.
I agree that there are some brain dead sheeple.
There might be, there might be.
I do think that they are actual people with actual souls, and not just. You
don't think they're purposefully created to. From what I get, because from what I hear, because these people were directly created to be contrarians.
That's robotic.
But it makes sense from what he's saying, because they could still have souls, because they think that they're doing the good thing. They think that they're doing the right thing. Reform is improve upon. You don't improve something if you don't think it's going to get better, or there's no good.
And then that also
might be good intention.
That also means that Allah is creating people specifically for hell, right?
It might be.
These people don't believe. They will never believe, and disbelievers go to hell, right?
Okay, so we're not going to do the hell thing, because it doesn't say directly that disbelievers go to hell. He just says.
Yeah, that's why.
So right now, for the sake of clarity, for the sake of neutrality, They were born foolish. They were born to basically. They were born, from what I hear, is to stray you off the path. Right? Are you just counting?
Yeah, I'm done with
Okay.
that.
Okay. So they're born directly to stray you off the path, but they think they're doing the right thing. But it's not necessarily that they're going to go to hell for that. They were just created for that purpose. But they might not necessarily be going to hell yet. God is just telling them that they're foolish. That's it. That's all he's saying right now.